Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon if you are actually over on the East Coast of the world. Hey, this is Keisha Bass, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Winning Women Network. We are empowering you in your life, in your family, and your business. We want to do this on your lunch hour. Some of you may be on your lunch hour. Some of you may be at breakfast. I'm going to mute you out, Miss Dieter. And we're so excited about our topic today because we were actually chatting. I was chatting with the panel beforehand, and this is an area where many of us struggle in this area, right? I mean, it's not something new, but today we want to give you some tips and just really empower you so that you walk away from here and really know that no matter what's happening in your business and your life, that you can really do this. So I'm going to give my panel a little bit of time to actually introduce themselves today, to tell you who they are and stuff, a little bit about them, how they got to internet marketing and everything like that. So go ahead. I'm going to start with Miss Jen Glidden. If you can go ahead and start, Jen.
Hey, Keisha. Great to see you today. Thank you for having me, and great to see everybody. I am Jen Glidden, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a stay-at-home mom and working on my eBay and DS domination business here. I used to work in corporate America, and that's actually when I started my very first little business, was when I was working full-time, and since then it's been an entrepreneurial journey, and did some real estate that led me into internet marketing, and that led me here. So great to see you, and I'm looking forward to the discussion today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, welcome, Miss England. Hello, I think that's Melissa. Hi, Melissa. You're actually muted. I can't hear you.
All right. Got me?
Yeah, I got you. I love your hair. Oh my God.
Thank you. Did a little extra.
Okay, I like it. Go ahead and tell us about yourself.
So I am Melissa. I'm actually fairly new to network marketing, not new to online marketing. Had a business, it failed, started over, and decided to turn to internet marketing. And that's where DS Domination came into play for me. And I really, really hit it hard and stayed focused, and I'm seeing amazing results.
Awesome. She is a rock star indeed. Cool. We're going to keep moving right along. We got Miss Dietra. I know she likes our surname. Dietra? Dietra, are you there? You can unmute yourself. Well, I can't hear you, my dear. I can't hear you still. Okay, let's see here. Yep, you're muted on your side, so there you go. Now you muted yourself again.
It's not okay. Hold on.
There you go.
Okay,
I hear you
now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I am Dietra Jones, and let's see. I was in corporate America for a very long time, supporting executives, but I always had a hustle, as I was told, going on, always in the background, because I knew that I would not always want to work for someone else. So I knew I wanted to do something, but I just didn't know exactly what it was. So I've been in so many network marketing companies for the last 20 plus years. So I've done just about everything except for internet marketing. So so I have gone to a number of live events from different companies, and I happened to go to another one, and I met my sponsors there as we were all exiting the event. So they said, you should try this thing, and they mentioned Amazon and eBay to me, and I knew because I had sold things on eBay before, because I'm a divorced mom and I had 3 sons. So I had sold things before, except I was just taking pictures and putting up blurry pictures on eBay, but I still sold my stuff, so I was familiar with the concept. So in any case, once they told me about it, I said, oh, well, I'm going to check this out, because I was in another company too. And so once I saw that it worked, I dropped everything else and have made this my primary. And so I've been into DS Domination for about since November. So I love it. Thank you so much for having me today. I look forward to participating in the conversation and seeing how I can empower others.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Miss Dietra.
Yes.
Amazing. I love. She's so articulate with her words and things. And so when I call her or talk to her on the phone, then my southern drawl, I have to let that go and become really proper when I talk to Miss Dietra on the phone. Thanks for coming hanging out with us today.
Sure.
Okay, last but certainly not least, we're coming all the way over here to the Pacific Northwest, to the capital, the state capital of Washington State, and we're going to bring to you none other than Miss Cherie King from Olympia. What's up, Cherie?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cherie King, and as Keisha said, we live out here in beautiful Washington State. My family and I moved here. We're actually originally from Detroit. I am a former hairstylist who got burned out by that profession and needed to do something because I wanted to be home with my children. I was homeschooling at the time, and I just needed to do something at home. And so that's when I started searching online for ways to make money. Came across a lot of different things, but that was my introduction into internet marketing. And I've also done network marketing as well. And so I love this industry. I love, the whole work from home thing. I love being a stay-at-home mom. And I love, helping to empower other women to do the same thing if that's what they so choose to do. So that's me.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay, so Miss Cherie King, so I think everyone here, actually, we're all, all mothers, right? I think that everybody here actually is a mom. And so I have 2 boys. Who else has boys? So,
I have boys.
One boy, one girl.
2. Wow, 1 boy, 1 girl. Shree, how many kids you have?
4.
4?
2 girls, 2 boys.
Oh, wow. So she's got double. I have 2 boys and stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much, and to all my panel, thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about balancing life and business, okay? And so let me just get this out the way. If you're here and you were invited by someone, then thank you for showing up. We actually are all part of a company called DOMINATION. So at any point, if you want more information about DOMINATION, how it has allowed many of us to now go from from a corporate job to now actually being from home. I can't say it was the act, I didn't go from corporate America to DOMINATION, but it certainly has now allowed me to stay home, okay? And so if you want more information about DOMINATION, there's 2 buttons that are below this this Hangout. One, you can join our team. So maybe this may be not your first Hangout. You've kind of seen us around because Unit of Prosperity is the best team online in DOMINATION, okay? Let me hear you. And so you probably have seen, you may have seen our team around and stuff, and so now you're ready to get in, okay? And so if that's the case, there's a button below. You can just, just join now, right? Get started at $19.95, change your life, okay? I know all these ladies, if I would ask them, how did that $19.95 change their lives, we literally would probably be on here crying and snotting and and this Hangout would totally turn into something totally different. But we know that this business has the power to, to absolutely change your life. So get started. If you have more questions, there is a button below that if you have more questions, because we know, you could have, you may need some more things answered before you invest your $19.95. And I do mean $19.95. Not $1,995. Okay, so but you may have questions about spending $19.95, and if you do, I want you to click. There's a button below as well. You can get your questions answered so you can get started. Okay, money likes speed. Okay, I tell people this: money likes speed. Don't be indecisive. So anyway, so now that we got that out the way, income disclaimer: if people mention incomes and stuff like that, they're not guaranteed. We can't guarantee that you'll get into DOMINATION, do absolutely anything. You may not cut and paste. You may not list a single product. You may not do anything, right? So there's no guarantees that you'll be able to make the type of income that some of these ladies may mention on this Hangout. Okay, so I think I got all the announcements out the way. I feel like I'm at the theater. You go to the theater, like, no chewing gum, do not take any pictures, and da-da-da-da, So anyways, awesome. You guys, we just want to have fun. So stuffy people, just bear with me, okay? Because I'm born in February. It's the greatest month of the year. This is my birthday month, and I'm closing out this month. We're almost to the end of the month here, you guys. So I celebrate all month, and so yeah. So I like to have a lot of fun. So awesome. We're talking about balancing life and business. Okay. And so I don't know if any of you, you want to jump in. That's totally fine. It's kind of open. But oftentimes, I know myself. Okay, so let me talk about myself. When I was working in corporate America and actually, running hard after my dream of being a home full time, I spent a lot of hours, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of laundry not done, and different things. And so many of you may be in that position right now, right? And I want you to know that that's totally okay, because it's just part of the process, right? But any of you ladies, you want to talk about your, your working full-time experience, and, and how you really, balance the whole, how you've done the juggling act, If you want to talk about that, come on out and give these ladies and gentlemen, we have some gentlemen that are listening actually today, give them some tips, or talk about your story.
What I was going to say is that when I did work in corporate America and I had other things going on, it was a matter of sticking to a routine and having a routine in your house, because if you did not have order or routine in your house, you couldn't have the right flow going on, and you would be like Dagwood Bombstead when you came home if you didn't have order. So to me, I always had a rule in my house that after 9 was my time. And so there were no tiny voices heard after 9 p.m. And that was when I could clear my head and sort of give 2 hours to whatever hustle or side thing I had going on. And that was how I allocated my time during the week, because it was tough. I had 3 babies, 5 and under.
Wow. So you really so while you were working corporate America, then so scheduling was very important, it sounds like to me.
Scheduling was super important in order for you to be able to be calm and not frazzled as you were trying to juggle all of these things. That was so important. And the kids knew the routine, so they could kind of follow along, so it kind of made it easier for me to get them in order because they knew the routine. So being consistent, too, and scheduling is really important.
Okay, that's a good point. Good point. Anyone else have something they want to offer on this topic here?
Well, I was going to mention, because when I started working from home and being a stay-at-home mom, then I didn't have a full-time job, to balance with that. I've been working from home. So, but there was a time last year that I was full-time student. I was doing online classes in school. And so I had to definitely balance that out. And one of the ways that really kind of helped me was to, first of all, I had to examine myself and figure out what time of day was best for me to do, what time of day was best for me to study and do my schoolwork. When was my mind fresher and everything. And then I allotted that time. This is school time, okay? This is not time to be on the internet or to be, I was on the internet, doing my schoolwork, of course, but not doing other things that were business related or lollygagging and things like that. And then having a certain amount of time allotted, towards the internet side of things, the internet business side of things. And so that's what kind of really helped me. And it's the same thing even with, just balancing your internet business side of things, is to have a certain time frame allotted for a particular task. Like, okay, right now for this 1 hour, this 2 hours or 15 minutes, however, whatever the time frame you want to allot for yourself, that's what that's for. It's not the time for you to be on Facebook. This is the time for you to be writing your blog post, or this is the time for you to be doing your video, or whatever. So that's kind of what's helped me a little bit. So.
Oh, good points, Sheree. Very good points. Anybody else want to piggyback on that?
I'll chime in. I think everybody's pretty much on the same page. To me, the more disciplined you are, the more freedom you'll have. As opposed to people thinking that discipline means restrictions or discipline means that you are rigid. Honestly, when you have a schedule And when you stick to it, you'll find that you have more freedom. And for me personally, the most difficult thing for me was finding a really good schedule and a fair amount of balance when it comes to my own business. I never had that problem when I was working for someone else because my passion for working for someone else just wasn't that strong. So it was literally when I was at the job, that was it. But when it comes to the business, that's your baby and you have a crazy passion for it. And so you can, wind up on the computer all day, all night, up late, up early, not sleeping, crazy things if you're not careful. And so even though your passion is good and that's the driving force to your success, balancing that with a fair amount of discipline and the schedule that these ladies are talking about is what will get you there so that you're not just bouncing all over the place trying to get to a destination.
Great point. That's really good stuff. Jenny, did you want to jump out, or I saw you unmuted, but
sure, yeah. So I definitely agree with what the ladies have touched on already. Scheduling time, focus, eliminating distractions, creating a routine. Those are all things where you're implementing systems so that things are more likely to happen just automatically. When you create a schedule, a routine, a system, then you're setting yourself up for success. And another thing that I think really makes the difference is eliminating clutter and distractions in your physical environment, your emotional environment, just even noises that may be regular in your house or things like that. Like right now my aquarium pump is making this noise and it's a small distraction, but guess what? It breaks my focus from working. And so there are a lot of things that that may be happening. Obviously babies crying are more important, but creating a space where it's uncluttered that you can focus is really important too. And one thing that I think steals a lot of people's time and focus is the television. So if you can turn that off and like Cherie said, Facebook too, don't even have that tab open in your computer when you're doing your focused work time, and that will really help you get the most out of your time.
Yeah, those are really good points. I know when I first, when I was laid off, right, and so when I came online, full time, I was just everywhere. I mean, literally, I would spend the entire day, and I'd be like, well, what, I was just talking to Sharita about that, like, I would spend the entire day on the computer and thinking like, but what did I, what equated to money today, right? And it was like, and I don't know, I think I was watching Brian Tracy, and one of the tips that I had pulled from to give is that he has to take, the first 30 minutes. This is another tip. Take the first 30 minutes of every day to plan your day. Don't start your day until you complete your time plan. The most important time of your day is the time you schedule to schedule time. And I thought, so often I would just get, you wake up, you check your email, and for me it's, I have to get up, get the kids, off to school and stuff, and, but still I'm checking my email, right away, and then now I'm engaged in, in emails and everything, and I'm thinking like, all day, my day just is governed by me just, being random, right? Okay, I check my email. Now I gotta, this person has a question. Now I look at Facebook, someone sent me a message. Now I gotta answer this message. And so, my day would just be like, oh my God, this is not going to work. It's like I might as well just have a job, okay, for the way I'm doing this. And so I really like how you say, Melissa was saying about really being disciplined. And I'll tell you guys, for my personality type, that can be challenging because I never like to be restricted. But, uh-oh, you can't see me, Deidre. Can you guys see me? Okay, Deidre says she can't see me. Okay, Deidre, I don't know, sweetie. Everybody else can see me. Okay. But, yeah, so really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time chunks. So, really, I like to call it time That's kind of what, one thing I would, one tip I would say is to create time chunks. And what I mean by that is that, have a certain time. And I like to say, okay, this is how much time I've allotted to maybe doing email. This is how much time I'm allotted to calling and, team members. This is how much time is allotted to Facebook chat. This is how much time is allotted to, to really prospecting. And if makes it so that that's not a all day thing. Everything's like, okay, I have from 9 to 2 to do everything. It's like, well, that doesn't work. So what do you guys? How do you guys create a schedule for your day, or how are you all managing your time now? I should say, how are you ladies? And what, to the best of your ability, how are you managing it? Some of you are like, I don't know.
It's still hard for me right now. It's still hard for me because even though I stay at home, I still have 3 children in school, so different things happen, and you try to manage because your day, is subject to be disrupted by numerous things because you are at home. On the one hand, it's a blessing, and on the other hand, you're like, listen, I'm at home, but I really am working. We are stay-at-home moms, but we are at work and we are at home. So sometimes you really have to declare that to people because people will take up your time and ask you to do what they think are little things. They're not little at all because my time is money, especially now. It's not a check every 2 weeks or twice a month like it used to be, no matter what I do, kind of. Now I generate my income from my home, and I'm a one-income home. So I don't, you have to really shut it down, so to speak, and decide what your priorities are. And so it still is challenging to me because it can be disrupted. So I just find, again, coming back to the scheduling piece, you have to be mindful of your schedule all week long so that your flow, you're not running all over the county you live in and making all these disjointed trips and travels to get things done, and it really is so counteractive, and it's certainly not productive for your time. So you have to really be scheduling things, and when people ask you things, not to be afraid to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Because in the beginning, if you're new at this, you kind of feel like because you finally do have the time to help people, it doesn't mean I won't say waste, but it doesn't mean use up all of your time to serve other people. Then it defeats the entire purpose of why you're a work-from-home person in the first place. So you really have to be careful at how you allocate your time and whether the things that you are doing really are worth your time, or should you wait until after work hours and then do it then. So it's up to you how to allocate your time, but it can definitely be challenging, especially if you have family members pulling on you because you're at home, remember? Yes, but I'm working at home, demanding of your time.
So true. Someone just posted in the comments. I thought it was a good point. Let's see. She said she mentioned an app that breaks your time into 25-minute chunks, then a 5-minute break, and so you can focus on one task for 25 minutes. Hey, that was Jody. I'm sorry, Jody. I don't know how to say your last name, Molly. I want to say, but anyways, Jody M. Thank you so much for that tip. That's a great thing, and then that's what time checking, because what'll happen is, and I tell my son this, and we went to this parent-teacher conference, and I was telling his instructors that I was consulting him, or because I say parenting is consulting. I was consulting him about he likes to get up and work out. Okay, so my son will get up at like 6 in the morning before he goes to school, and he will work out, and he has this speech that he likes to listen to as he's working out, and it's very motivational for him and stuff. But the thing ends it's like only a minute long or so, right? And so I'm saying to him, son, every time you stop to restart your speech, you're losing time. So why don't you set it so it keeps playing so that you can keep going, because every single minute counts. And we were talking about this at his parent-teacher conference. I was telling them that now with his homework, talking about time chunking, now in his homework, I actually make him allocate how much time he's going to spend on a certain area. So he has to like do memory work. They have to do like Bible memory work and stuff. So I'm like, okay, how much time are you going to give yourself to study this Bible memory work? How much time are you going to give yourself to, to study for your spelling test? How much time are you going to give yourself to do reading and stuff? Because my son would come home, you guys, and spend it would be 9 o'clock. I'd be like, son, wait a minute. Okay, this is not, what are you doing? But I realized, like, you know what? He needed an allotment of time to get it done. Like, okay, this is all you have. And you guys, it changed so much. He would get his homework done in like 2 hours or so, as opposed to like he gets out of school at 3:30. He would be from 4 to 9 o'clock doing homework. But even if we would teach our children about chunking their time, because otherwise you'll think you have all day, and that's what I was doing. It's like, I have all day to send an email. I have all day to do Facebook. I have all day to do prospecting. And it just created a monster, honestly, for me. So any of your thoughts? I'm rattling off. Any of your thoughts about time chunking? Do you all use time chunking, or what do you all use to kind of break up your day?
So I'm working on that. I've been scheduling in a paper planner and things like that. And one thing that I think is really helpful is I lost my thought as I got distracted here, so I'll have to come back.
She got little E. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I'm still working on being really, really organized and scheduled because for me, just like you said, Keisha, I'm a very free spirit when it comes to the way that I like to move, because I move by motivation, and that happens fairly freely. What I do, though, is because I'm an idea person, ideas come so fast that I have to get them written down. Otherwise, it's just a waste of however many minutes that idea was in my head for. So I use Evernote. Evernote is not really for scheduling, but it's literally just so that I can have my ideas on paper, because I have so many of them that there's no way that I could get to all the things that I'm thinking about doing for my business or thinking about getting to if I don't write them down. So I use Evernote, and it really, really helps me just get it on paper so I don't have to have it swirling around in my brain cloud, taking up energy. Mm-hmm. That's probably the only tip that I would have.
And that's, you know what, that's a really good tip, and I'm glad you mentioned it, because what I used to do, Melissa, is I would each day I would start because I use Evernote as well. I absolutely love the app. I mean, and I'm like that too. I'm an idea person as well, and I'm really, like, last night I had an idea. I was standing in the bathroom. I had this idea, and I was like, and I was thinking, oh, I'll remember it. And I was like, why did I put that in Evernote? Man, I was like, why did I not put it in Evernote? Because it was such a good idea. But yeah. So in Evernote, what I would do each day, you all, is that I would at night, I would start I have a notebook, an accountability notebook. And I'll put a date at the top, and then I'll have what is it that I want to accomplish the next day on this notepad, right? And I can see this from my phone here. I can see it from anywhere, which is so cool about Evernote, is that you can access it from the computer, from the phone, the iPad. It's a great app, and this is another tip I would say. Brian Tracy says, write down the task that you want to accomplish the next day. Write them down the night before, because your subconscious will go to work to bring to you solutions. If there's things that projects that you're working on and stuff, write those down. And so that's something that I've really taken with me. And so at the end of the day, I can look at this Evernote notepad, this piece of virtual piece of paper, and see, okay, so what did I get accomplished today? Because oftentimes we think we're doing more than we're actually doing, and that's really, you look at your day like, oh my God, I've been online all these hours. Okay, so but if you were to report to a manager or someone, and they would say, okay, so for the time that you've been allotted today, what is it that you've gotten done? And if you have something that you can be accountable to, okay, so this is what I did today. right? And you can see, and then if you didn't get it done today, you can just simply, start a new piece of paper, and Evernote's it's like a notepad. You start a new piece of paper, and you move that thing to the next day. And that's something that I've really, I've lived by. I mean, because I'm a free spirit, right? So, but I know there's things I need to do, and sometimes for me to say, okay, I'm gonna do this from 9 to 2, it's just at that time I just may not even be, like you say, motivated to even do those. But if I have it documented that these are the things that I absolutely and I don't like to say need, but I will to do to build my business, right? Because it's like, what motivates you? Are you building a business? Are you building a hobby? What are you building? So when you have income goals and different things, then that will motivate you to say, okay, these are things I need to accomplish today, or I will to accomplish today, and because these things will move me closer to my goal of whatever, whether it be finances, because most people are motivated by money. So if you have a financial goal each month, then every single day you got to show up. You got to show up in your business and get those things things done. Any thoughts on that, ladies?
Hey, Keisha.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So the things that I wanted to say were, if you have just a short bit of time every day to work on your business, then be sure that you're working on income-producing activities, like you just talked about, Keisha, things that are getting you closer to your goals. So things that are either generating traffic and leads, communicating with leads or prospects, supporting your existing team or your customers. So those are going to be income-producing activities. And then also, something that I think is really important to remember, and I'm constantly looking at my activities under this light, is the 80-20 principle. That 20% of the time that you spend in your business is going to produce 80% of the results. So what are those most valuable activities, and how can you really focus on doing those, first of all, but then also leverage the results from them, and then what can you either outsource or not even do that's not getting you any results. So those are just a couple thoughts that I wanted to share.
Awesome. Great points. I have someone posted something. So Valerie Priester posted, she schedules her entire week on Sunday nights. She said, I know this may be a bit much for most, but I was a project manager for 15 years, so working by a schedule is a way of life for me. And that's, honestly, I usually try to schedule my emails on Sunday nights or Saturday if I have a moment. I like to go in because I know I'm going to send 2 emails a day, and that's just going to happen, right? And I can, I already know, our weeks are kind of really are kind of already planned. I kind of, Tuesday, Thursdays, I know I have, a coaching call. Wednesdays, I got this hangout. Monday night hangout. I mean, so those type of things are really time savers. You'll be surprised how much time you save if you schedule your emails on, just sit down one night and just schedule them to go out, and for that week. You will be surprised. Like, I mean, yeah, how much time you'll actually shave off your day just by doing little things like that. Using many of us are now using Buffer app, to really schedule our social media posts. Like Jen said about outsourcing, some of you may not be financially at the point where you can hire someone full time, but you'll be surprised how inexpensive it may be to just especially if you work full time. I say if you work full time, it may be beneficial to you to outsource some of the things that you do that don't require your human presence. Don't require really your touch per se, because I know some of us, we have our own touch to things, but there's some things that you could absolutely outsource. And yeah, Cherie, what you got to say over there?
No, I well, kind of to piggyback off of what Jen said and what all the ladies said, Melissa included. because I'm kind of the same way where my creativity won't allow me to say, okay, well, this is going to be done here and there. It's kind of like it has to, I have to feel it. But one thing that I do implement is that I have a whiteboard here on my wall here, and I have one side of it that I have a list of all my daily IPAs, or income producing activities, that I know need to be done on a daily basis, and so I check those off as I do them each day. But then the other things that I want to accomplish, then I have the other side, and I can write those down on there. That may not be something that I'm going to do on a daily basis, but just something I know I want to do for that day. And so I think that kind of helps me too, is to just have that list in front of me of what I know has to be done that day. And I try to get as much of it done as I can. I don't always succeed. Sometimes, like you said, I have to carry it over to the next day. But I'm definitely going to be downloading this, what is it, Evernote app onto my phone, because I didn't know about it. I was using the whiteboard, and then I also had a notebook that was specifically for things that I need to do, and I would just every single day, each page was for that particular day, and so that kind of helped keep me a little bit more organized as well. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say.
That's good. And I like to write too. I have stuff everywhere, right? I mean, I like to write stuff down because I have a notebook that's dedicated, because oftentimes I'm not on the computer, but like I said, Evernote's everywhere. But I do like to write stuff down in a notebook as well, because I think writing kind of there's something about writing still. But so I like that too. Another tip that I'm going to share with you all that Reginald did a video about time management, and one thing is to work from your voicemail. So work from your voicemail. And it seems like my camera is lagging. No? Okay, it's just me then. Work from your voicemail. Okay, and what that means is that, and I started this a while back, you guys, I do not answer incoming phone calls. Okay, when they come to my office line, I'm not answering them, because, and it's unless there's a lot of time that I'm answering calls, because oftentimes people what they're calling when it's convenient for them. They're not calling when it's convenient for you. So I don't have to make it convenient. I don't have to do that, right? I don't have to make my time now convenient for someone who wants to talk to me on the phone. And so I'm usually I really have gotten to the point where I really schedule when I'm going to talk, when I'm going to take phone calls, and everything. And I work from my voicemail. It was actually full to capacity, like last week, and I had to empty it out, because I don't really like voicemails. But I'm changing, and that's the thing about being an entrepreneur, y'all. We have to learn, learn to accept change, to adapt. Right? When someone who's a six-figure income earner tells you to, gives you advice about how to do something, you just say, okay, I'm going to adapt. So if you're not scheduling now, then just adapt. Learn how to change and take advice and constructive criticism from people who are achieving a level of success that you want. Of course, if they're not achieving the success that you want, then maybe their advice is not good. But I believe that we've given you all some really good points that you could take away. So Evernote is definitely one. You can use Evernote, and even if you don't say, I'm going to do this at this certain time, you can at least say, these are the things that I am going to do today in my business. And even if it's personal stuff, because I'll even put phone calls I need to make, if I need to make appointments for the kids, if Josh has something at school, then I'll put all these things on this on my piece of paper, so I'll know what am I committed to today, right? And then when I get a space, then I do those things, right? And so those really help. Those are really some things that have helped me to really be successful being online and not seem like I'm ball and chain to a computer all day. So any thoughts on that, ladies? Well, first I do it. And I'm looking through the comments, so looking through the comments, I'm gonna say.
I did see one comment that was nice.
Go ahead.
Unique said that there is a Stay Focused extension for Google Chrome. She says it'll block you from accessing your email, Facebook, and any other site that you specify once you go over a time limit that you specify. For example, if you say only 30 minutes for Facebook between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., it will block Facebook after you spent 30 minutes. So, I mean, I don't know.
I like that. I need that.
But I like the idea. Honestly, especially if you have children. It doesn't have to just work for business. But if you have children where you told them you got 30 minutes here, that's great. And if you're ready, you can do it for your business too. So I like that. I never knew they had anything like it.
Yeah, that's good, because especially, I think especially on social media, I had to remind myself, Keisha, you do not get paid for scrolling and liking pictures, right?
Yes.
That's not, I mean.
Or watching YouTube videos.
Right.
That's my thing.
There's no payment.
I got to watch videos all day long.
I know, it's like there's no payment. This is not an income producing activity. As much as you know, much as you like it, it's not producing income now. If you're connecting with people, then totally different, because I do follow Melissa's Facebook strategy, connecting with people. She has a good Facebook strategy, you guys. If you haven't gotten it, if you haven't seen it, go check that out. Some good stuff.
Yes.
So awesome, cool. Another point I wanted to bring out is this one here. Remember that it is impossible to get everything done. And so also remember that odds are good that 20% of your thoughts, conversations, and activities produce 80% of your results. And it's interesting because Jen actually mentioned about the 80-20 rule, right? 80%, 20% of your thoughts, your conversation, and activities. So if you think about your day, there's 20% of the things that you do in a day that produce 80% of your results. So if you want to increase your results, this is what I love about this kind of stuff. See, if I want to increase my results, then I know I need to look at the 20% of the things that I'm doing, right? So what am I doing? And the only way for you to know what that 20% is for it to be documented. That's the only way for you to know. Otherwise, you don't have a clue. You don't know what you do each day. And so, you have to, and sorry, my phone's ringing. So you have to document it. You have to, look at your day and say, okay, what am I doing each day, right? So I know I'm, for those who work, there's a certain allotment of time that you're actually working, and then you have kids, you got to come home, you got to do homework, you got to get dinner, and all those things. And, at the same time, maybe it's you cooking, meal preparation. Does anybody do meal preparation? Dietrich, I can't hear you. Oh, you know what? I'm muted out, sweetie. Hold on. Because, no, you're muted on your side. Meal preparation.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always done because I'm such a cooker. And so even at the church on Sundays, I'd cook like 3 meats on Sundays, and I'll just do the sides for that day. And then throughout the week, I can cook the sides just before the kids get home. So by the time they come home, it's that whole hodgepodge of activity. If you don't have some things done, kids capitalize on that, and everything starts running together, and they start running you together if you don't have a handle on the scheduling or the time frames and what they should be doing. So yeah, meal preparation is huge for me because I like real food. I don't do fast food and stuff like that. So if I'm going to have good food, then I need to be planning how I'm going to do it. So I've been doing that for years. That piece I have. It's the other things that I need, that I'm working on. But that piece is solid. That is solid.
So on Sundays, Deirdre, because it's something that I've ventured into. It's kind of like you start something and then you just kind of fall off, and it's like you go right back to your old habits. Mm-hmm. So how do you? So on Sundays, you just basically cook the main portion of your meals.
Yeah, I usually do meats because meats take the longest, and you also have to pay the most attention to them, or else it could really mess up your meal. If you mess up the beef or the chicken, make it too dry and all that, it's going to screw up your whole meal. So that's what I have to pay attention to. So sometimes I'll season meat the night before, like on a Saturday night, but in the morning when I first wake up at like 7 o'clock or 6:30 before I go to church, I'll put that in the oven when my house is quiet. I'm actually paying attention, but I'm doing some other things too. So you can do like a corned beef brisket. You can season chicken, wings or something in casserole dishes. I've cooked meals and just put them in the refrigerator straight out of the oven because we're not going to eat that today. So I'll cook a whole chicken and, maybe some rice and a vegetable and put that stuff straight in the refrigerator. And so through the week, the kids actually feel like they're at a restaurant because they can pick and choose to mix and match the vegetables that go with the meat. But I don't have to keep jumping up and down every time. We're just putting things in the oven. It's fresh food. It's good, so they can, it helps you be able to direct children who can talk and follow instructions while you're watching. You can do that when you've already fixed the meal and they're just pretty much heating up. So that's how I do it. The 3 meats are main. That's the main attraction, if you will, and you can add, macaroni and cheese or green beans or rice or salad or whatever you're going to do is the extra stuff that's pretty simple and takes maybe like 15 minutes because the bulk of your stuff is done. So, and if you have a day that you don't cook, a meal like you might have a night you eat pizza or something, that's fine. But if you cook those 3 meats and they each last 2 days, that's your food for the week.
Great points, ladies. See, that's when you have a dream and you have a goal, you just do what you got to do to make it happen. Now, that's something that, and I'm going to actually take that away from the Hangout today and actually, you know what, I'm going to implement that. I like that because Sundays I do have time. And that funny thing, I was thinking just a minute ago, I was like, I should cook a roast, on Sunday and, and kind of, let that be. And then I was like, well, I should cook spaghetti too. So there's a way, ladies, right there. There's to really balance. It's all about doing things efficiently and really finding that. So on Sundays, do the meal prep because what happens for me, I can do it early in the day because I'm at home. We usually have events that happen in the evening time all week long, almost except Fridays. And they usually happen prime time in the Bass household because we're on Pacific Standard Time. You guys are eating dinner and stuff. It's 8 o'clock Eastern. But over here, where Cherie and I are, it's prime time. We're in the heat of the moment, right? It's everybody's at home. And they're trying to figure out, Mom, hey, what's for dinner? My husband's coming home from work. What's for dinner, babe? Where's my socks? Where's this? It's like, oh, my God, I have a hangout to get on. What do you want? I don't know. So it's really, important.
Yes.
For I have to, on those days I have to say, okay, what is going to be for dinner? And now I'm implementing exercise, and the exercise class that I want to go to, of course, is at 7:30 at night. So scheduling is so key. Thank you, Deirdre. That was a great takeaway.
Can I tell you one more thing? Because that helps me so much. I did this even before I had children because I just love to cook. So, and then too, with children, if you want them to have, and I know Jennifer, most of us have children, I like for them to have good food available. So, in summertime, there's like fresh fruit, and if you don't put out food for kids and men too, they will go rifling through your stuff and throw your meal off because what you thought you were going to use for a side dish, they took it and used it for a snack. So you're like, really? Don't mess over my food. This was part of a meal. And so when you already have things available, like the kids will come in and they'll grab a granola bar or some fruit, they don't have to go through my cabinets and stuff because I have it on the table. That's just, and they'll take whatever you have out. It's like stray animals, you can just put stuff out and they take it, but it's what you meant for them to have so they don't throw the rest of your meal planning off. But if you're not supervising them, so to speak, they'll mess up all of your stuff. That's why you have to have some order.
That's a good point. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like my mom. She used to do the same thing, and now it makes sense because she would take the grapes out the refrigerator and put them on the table. And she said, well, if I put them out here, then you all will eat them. But if they're in the refrigerator, you guys won't. You'll go and find something totally different. So whatever I want you to eat, I'll put it on the table. And now it's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yes, cut the oranges up, put the whatever, however you want it so they don't spill stuff and it's sticky everywhere. Just go ahead and do it. It's not babying them, it's keeping my kitchen in order.
Wow. Good. That's really good. Okay. So someone says, Trisha says, I plan my meals and don't forget about the crock pot. Set it and forget it. She's a single mom and she works full time and she's now started with DSD, so she loves her crock pot. We have a few ladies that are planning meals out here in this comment section. Yeah, it looks like meal planning is something that's good. So Keisha Bass will get on board and start planning her meals. So she
It'll help you a lot. It'll help you so much. And also that 13-year-old, he can put things in the oven on 300, not 500. Put it on 300.
Right. And he actually cooked yesterday, which is kind of cool. He's actually likes, he cooked some Italian chicken yesterday and stuff. So I went to the gym, and after I got out, I called him and I was like, hey, how's the Italian chicken? He was like, I'm getting ready to take the foil off of it. So but I do like the fact of, planning on Sunday, because it takes away from his schoolwork and stuff if he's, managing chicken. So awesome. So we've given you guys some really good tips today. So I say, what I would like for you to take away, from this hangout today, and I'm actually looking at my notes, is to plan your day. We're not talking about, getting down to the minute, like, and everything, and saying, okay, at 9:31, I'm going to be doing this. But if at all possible, really write down. Use Evernote. We've talked about Evernote. Use Evernote and really write out, right, what it is that you intend to do for that day. Because you know what, I often say this about procrastination, right? And I say this about procrastination. People say, oh, I procrastinated, and I always just say to my clients, did you schedule it? Is it written down somewhere? Is it on the calendar? And they're like, oh, no. I said, well, you know what, sweetie? You never intended to do that. You didn't procrastinate. You set no intentions to get it done. So I would say if there's things that you want to do each day, then set an intention, write it down, and really don't be relentless about it, right? So don't, this is a business, and if you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. I've actually this month alone made more than I made on my 9 to 5, okay? And so it will pay you like a business. But if you treat it like a hobby, then it's going to pay you just like a hobby. And hobbies don't pay anything, maybe a few dollars, I don't know. But really, so set a schedule, or a list of things that you're going to do. Schedule your time. It says schedule time for interruptions, or schedule office hours. For those of you who are good and you like time, then hey, set office hours, right? This is the time I work from. I work my business from 9 to 1 or whatever. If it's in the evening time, Deirdre gave you an example of hers. Her kids would go to bed at 9, and she would set aside 2 hours to work on her business, whatever that looks like. I think, the common thread here is just, set aside a time to do it and actually do it. Reginald gave a tip, work from your voicemail. Okay, so, don't be the person, you don't have to answer every single call, okay, because it's convenient for them when they call you. It may not be convenient for you, and that's okay for you to work from your voicemail and call people back. Block out distractions like Facebook, okay? Those, sometimes you get on Facebook and then people are chatting, they're asking questions and stuff. When it's time for you to do focus work, do focus work. Do whatever it is that will build your business, that will move you to the next, to your goal. You're moving closer to your goal, and if it's your goal to eliminate your 9 to 5, then I would work relentless for however time I set aside to work my business. I was talking to someone, and she was like, how do you do it? And I'm thinking, like, what, if I only had, and I did a video. I always video, usually my videos are striked up from conversations that people have with me. And I said, what, if you only have 1 hour a day, then in that 1 hour, you work your business, and you'll be surprised how much stuff you get done. If you have a focused hour of work, you'll get so much done. So work your business for that entire hour. How much every time you have, set aside your time and do it. Okay. Last thing I want to say is, remember, you're never going to get everything done. And so I really, don't beat yourself up. None of us will ever master, honestly, this whole time management. We'll always be evolving, right? We'll always be evolving as we get, as we grow as people. I know, Jan and I have had conversations about now really outsourcing virtual assistants. We're now talking about that. We weren't talking about virtual assistants 6 months ago, like I wasn't, but as your business grows, you're going to grow, things are going to grow, and then you'll start to really begin to outsource and give away stuff that you really don't want to do. There, we were talking about before we went live about, me outsourcing my housework, right? I don't enjoy housework, okay? I don't enjoy it. I'm not as fast as, as someone, if I paid somebody to do it who really enjoys it, who's efficient, I'm not as fast as them, so I have to be okay with outsourcing that part of my life so that I can spend time on what's going to produce more income, or if not even producing income, I'd rather spend the time with my kids. I'd rather go shopping. I'd rather go do something else than to be slaving in a bathroom or something, like cleaning the toilet. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, seriously, I don't get any satisfaction out of it. Like, the only satisfaction I get out of cleaning, you all, is washing clothes. I love the smell of clothes washing, right? I love the smell of dry clothes, when clothes come out the dryer and stuff. I love that smell. I don't love to do it, right? When they come out the dryer, I don't have, nothing jumps inside of me and says, oh my God, I get to fold up towels. No, I just like the smell, okay? so, So I'm, and I'm still a woman, because some people have a really hard time with that. They feel like, oh, I'm less of a woman if I don't, I don't want to do these things. No, I got over that years ago. No, I don't enjoy them, right? So therefore, there are people that really enjoy that and they're really good at it, and so I allow them the pleasure.
You're so kind. You're too kind.
Hey, they get pleasure out of that, and so
it's their gift.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, we used to have a housekeeper. She was amazing, and she loved cleaning. Like, it was almost like a ministry for her. Like, she just, it would just, for her to come in the house and then just, clean it up and change things, it would just be like, whoo, she would get so excited. I would be excited about the results, right?
My sister-in-law said the cleaning relaxes her. She loves to clean, and I'm just like, have at it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So do not deny people pleasure, right, in their gifting, and let them exercise their gift. I'm so serious. I just, and because either you have time or you have money, and that's the real thing, guys. Either you got time or you got the money, right? And I just told my husband, I said, sweetie, now, okay, we have some money to pay somebody to do these things. And he's like, well, my husband, he doesn't want to admit that he's old-fashioned, but I was talking to Sheree about this. My husband's old-fashioned, okay, and stuff. And, I was like, hey, you married me. You knew how I was when you married me. I never had to take out the trash. My dad never made me take out the trash. I don't touch trash. There's things I don't like to do. And so you knew that going into this. So he's just like, you're spoiled brat. So
that's all right.
So anyways, ladies, hopefully, and gentlemen, hopefully we've given you some tips that you can take away today. It's certainly that's certainly the goal, is to have fun and, and actually let you take away something from this and not just feel like you've been watching us talk for an hour. But, if someone invited you here today, we want to, certainly invite you to learn about the opportunity that's allowing me to hire a housekeeper. Okay, so just, and certainly some of these ladies here are outsourcing things or doing some things. Some of us have never seen the kind of money, right, that we have seen inside of DS Domination. And so if you are looking for a way, to earn extra income, I'm saying replace whatever income you have. I always ask people, how much income are we talking about replacing? Because let's just get it done, right? I know we can get it done. What's the goal? Let's get it done. So if you're here today and you're like, Keisha, I'm sick and tired of punching this 9 to 5. I'm sick and tired of traffic. I'm sick and tired of having vacation time, and not missing my children's events, and missing their field trips and all this. I'm sick and tired of this. If that's you, I want you to click the link below this video, because whoever invited you here today, they really love you. Although we talked about time management and managing time and everything, we would be remiss to not give you a solution to a problem, right? And so if you want your time back, click the link below this video and get started. If you have questions, go ahead and click the link on the left or right, one of those sides, and get your questions answered and get started today. Do you ladies have any final words? Anything final y'all want to say?
I would just, no, sorry. Go, that's Cherie. Go, Cherie.
No, I don't have any final words about the topic, but I do want to say I love Melissa's hair. I'm over here having hair envy. That's all I wanted to say.
It's hot.
Thanks for coming out.
It is hot. All right. Miss D, you're muted.
Yeah, I would. Am I muted?
No, I hear you now.
Okay. I would say that, you know, a lot of the opportunities, particularly this one, it's not expected that you just jump out of your job, because if you are tired of working for other people, and I mean, today's economy has changed. It's not the same. Corporate America does not care about their employees like they used to. And so start making your exit strategy. It's not like you do a backhand spring out the door saying bye. You know, no. Just get an exit strategy and start taking smaller steps toward trying to do something, because who can't use whatever amount of money and time that you can manage to put into this? Because what if you made $500 to $700, you know, next month? What if you did? And so you have to build, like anything, you have to build it. So if you start somewhere, and $20 a month is really, that's a very small investment to add so much value to your life and that of your family. So it's not an overnight thing. We're not even encouraging you to necessarily be like us, but why don't you be like you? The whole key is having the freedom and the flexibility that you will never be able to pay for. It just doesn't happen in the ordinary world. So, you know, get started. Get started. Start somewhere. Start adding to your life, because springtime is coming and so is the summer. So how many vacations are you taking? That's my question. So get started.
Great question. How many vacations are you taking?
How many vacations?
All right. Anybody else? Where?
Yeah, Keisha, I would just say, just real quick, I would say it's a process. You know, you're not going to go from chaos to extreme order, you know, or just this perfect, ideal, scheduled life overnight, but it's a process that day by day, week by week, as you work on it, you're going to get more efficient, you're going to get more productive, you're going to feel like your house is getting in more order, your life is getting in more order. So it's definitely worth working at, and it can really help you go from, you know, kind of struggling to get by to living that life that you've envisioned of peace and clarity and productivity. So I think this was a really great discussion. I got some really great tips out of it. Thanks.
Cool.
Yay.
I have something I want to say, and it is related to the topic. No, but Jen just said something that kind of triggered something that my husband used to always say is, you know, especially if you're just getting started at doing this and you're, you know, getting started with the home business and you're working and doing all these things, is to take one area of your life and perfect it, okay? So you don't want to come out of the gate overwhelming yourself with a whole bunch of stuff. So one of the things that I had to do was to reevaluate my IPA list and maybe shorten it a little bit, you know, at first, knowing that you're going to eventually scale it up some more. But start out small with just maybe one area of your life, whether it's cleaning, the cooking side, the, you know, business side or whatever, and perfect that area. And then once that area gets perfected, then add another thing and then another, and like that. So
that's good. Good points, ladies. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go. Ladies, the topic, we're going to come back next week, and we're going to discuss setting and reaching your audacious goals in business, okay? We're going to give you some tips on how you can do that. So invite your friends, invite everybody, right, to come back next week because we're going to be here and we're going to empower you even more this year. So this is the Winning Women Network. I'm Keisha Bass. We're going to sign off this week, and we'll see you online. We'll see you on Facebook, I'm sure. All right. Have a good week. Have a good week, ladies. Bye.
Bye.